In this how-to series, I'm going to explain and demonstrate the feature of VIS known as search result caching. Now, I've actually already pre-configured VIS for this, and I'm going to show you the configurations in a second, but first I'm going to actually show it to you working. We're going to kind of set up the demonstration here. So what I've done is I've created a couple users in this optimal users container. So this is connection directly to Active Directory, and you can see I see Larry and Mike. So now I'm going to connect over to VIS. VIS is configured to go to Active Directory as one of the data stores. And I'm just doing an F5 here, which does a refresh, and that's doing a search to VIS. Now, in this configuration, the first time that I did that search, it did go to Active Directory. So it went over to Active Directory and did the search, and it then placed those search results in a cache. Now, if a subsequent search to VIS comes in with the same search base, scope, and filter, VIS will look to its cache, see if it has a search result meeting that. If it does, it will return the results from its cache, not doing the read to the back end. So that can significantly increase performance of applications that do repetitive searches, and a lot of applications do repetitive searches. Even if you cache this for a relatively short period of time, even maybe 5 minutes, you say, I'm going to live with a 5-minute cache, you can see significant performance gains in your application. So I'm going to let this sit here for a while because I've actually configured it for a 1-minute cache, and it was like 10:05 and it's now 10:06. I'm going to go explain the configurations and then we'll come back, do a refresh, and we'll see that we're going to no longer go to the cache. So actually, one of the things that I should do first is we've done the search there. Let's go ahead and delete the user. So I'm going to delete Larry here from Active Directory, right? I went into Active Directory and deleted it. I am going to do another refresh, which you can see here we actually did still pull from the cache, right? So it's now 10:07, and when I did that refresh, Larry was gone, right? And if I go down here to Active Directory, Larry's gone. But we still saw Larry here because it pulled from cache. So we're going to wait until at least 10:08, 10:09 before we do the query again, and Larry will disappear from that list because he's no longer in Active Directory. Let me explain the configuration. So I'm bringing up the management console, coming into the configuration, and we see search result cache. This is on a VIS main instance, so it is global for the entire VIS instance you've configured. And we have a couple features or options. The first one is that percent of memory. Now, this is the percent of memory on the physical machine that we're going to use, and of course we could be in a virtual machine. So say we have 4 gigabytes. In this scenario, we're going to use 10%, a maximum of 10% of the 4 gigabytes. If we've used the 10%, nothing else is going to get added to the cache. It just won't get added to the cache. The polling interval. This is in seconds and is how often we look to the cache to see if objects need to be removed from the cache. When do they get removed? Well, if their cache lifetime has expired. So this setting here and this setting here are interrelated. And the cache lifetime, global, could be 1 minute, 1 hour, a day, whatever you really want it to set to. What is the time frame that you find acceptable for a cache? In my example here, I set it up for a 1-minute cache with a polling interval of 10 seconds. Now, if you did 1 hour, you probably wouldn't want to check the cache every 10 seconds, maybe every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Kind of up to you is how often you want to do it, but you don't want to do it too much if your cache lifetime is a greater setting. In this particular case, that sounded like a pretty good option. So we're actually going to see potentially a cache of 1 minute and 9 seconds probably, right? Or 9 and close to 10 seconds as a possible lifetime for a given object to be in the cache. So those two kind of, it is both the polling interval plus the cache lifetime. So 1 hour, and if you had the polling interval set to 10 minutes, it would be potentially 1 hour and 10 minutes for the cache. So again, the application, again, if the search filter, scope, and base all match, VIS will check the cache. If it's in the cache, it just simply returns the results of a prior query. For those apps that just do the repetitive queries over and over, and there are many LDAP applications that do that, you can see significant performance increases. Again, even if you're caching this for 5 minutes and you say, yeah, I'm okay. One, the applications maybe don't make changes to the back end at all. There are a lot of applications that do that, that almost no updates happen to to the directory on the back end, or if you're potentially reading from maybe a SQL database and it's a read-only view, this application truly is read-only, you can see significant performance increases here. So what I'm going to do now is, we can see it's 10:10. Time basically has expired. The cache should be gone. We saw that Larry was removed here when we actually looked and queried Active Directory directly. If I come here and do a refresh, Larry is now gone. So he was removed. That search result, the entire search result, was removed from the cache. And now when I did a read, VIS looked in its cache, didn't find anything, re-executed the query on the back end to Active Directory, and then placed this in the search result cache. So again, now that I'm here, if I go into Active Directory and delete myself, or create a new user, let's do that actually. We'll do it in reverse. I'll create a new user. I'm not caring about what I do here, and I'll just make it disabled. Actually, disabled, I don't need a password. So, we've got a new user here. If I do a refresh here, likewise, we don't see that new user. We'd have to wait 2 minutes, or don't have new activity here. So we'd have to wait the 2 minutes for the cache to expire. So hope you enjoyed seeing about this feature. Look to the other how-to videos on how to configure different items within the virtual identity server. Thank you.